Hey everybody, Dr. Bulow here. And once upon a time, I did a series of live vlogs called the hashtag UCVlog because it had to do with all things upper cervical. And it's something that I'm going to be starting again, probably every Tuesday morning here on Facebook Live. We're probably going to rip the audio. We're probably going to make it part of the Staying Connected with Dr. Ian Bulow podcast. And it's just, in this particular vlog though, the UC vlog is all about the practice of upper cervical chiropractic, which could be technique questions, it could be practice management questions, it could be communication issues or marketing or branding or anything that a student or doctor of chiropractic may want to know about the practice of upper cervical chiropractic. So in this vlog, I just wanted to speak. A colleague of mine, good friend and colleague, reached out about what systems we had internally in the practice to facilitate a referral for a patient to another upper cervical chiropractor, another chiropractor, or really just another healthcare provider in general. And so I want to speak to that. And if you guys have any questions about it, you can ask them live or you can comment in the video after this posts. But hopefully it brings you value. It's a very deep conversation, I should say it's a layered conversation when you talk about referrals. There's multiple layers to it, and I by no means am the end-all be-all expert, but having been in practice for over 10 years, there are some best practices that I've picked up along the way. Number one is you need to be authentically aware and educated when it comes to giving a referral. Don't give a referral if you don't know where the patient's going and how they're going to be treated. And so the best way to do that is to sincerely engage with other healthcare providers in your town. If you don't know, then tell your patient you don't know. Tell them they're on their own. Tell them to look up Google reviews. But we shouldn't do that. I think that we should build a practice where there's enough work-life balance and time and margin in your schedule to where you can actually investigate the best options for you, your family, and your patients. And so what that looks like is actually building a provider database in your clinic of the different types of providers in your town, and then dedicating a certain amount of time in your schedule to reach out and get to know them. Maybe that's a phone call asking if it's okay if you stop by and get a tour of their office. I think that would be a great way to start. Maybe it's hosting a provider networking event in your town where you as a healthcare provider just open your office up once a month, once a quarter, and invite other providers to come and have a networking and educational event. Or maybe that's building a referral map of sorts that you can reference on your website for different types of healthcare specialities. But step number one is you have to be aware. So we try a little bit of all the above. We try to call, we try to go and hang out, we try and invite others to our clinic. And it's a great thing because you can't be all things to all people. And so you should know when a patient of yours might need co-management or a referral to another provider. And then, and of course, when you do that, you're going to receive referrals too. So it's sort of a win-win. Number two is in the office, you should then have business cards and trifolds and brochures from those other providers in kind of a referral binder. That way you can give it to the patient. Or you should have some sort of an online database to send them to. Like right now, we're building out an upper cervical referral map on our website, but pretty soon we're going to be building out another website altogether called Pittsburgh Providers. That'll be a network of providers around Pittsburgh that I've personally vetted and gotten to know. And that way, if someone needs, acupuncture or PRP or massage therapy, prolotherapy, any of these kind of like co-management professionals, I can just tell them, hey, go to pittsburghproviders.com and there will be an index. But my point is, once you have learned to know, like, and trust these other providers, then you want to have some sort of a way of sharing that information with your patients. And by the way, we've made referral pads that we give to other providers so they can more easily refer to us. And so you want to have something tangible or something virtual online that you can send people to. The doc that reached out to me asked if we would get in contact with that other provider and make that connection. I personally don't feel like I have the time to do all of that. I wouldn't go to that level of engagement. Plus, technically, there is, I don't know where the line is in HIPAA, but you are doing this for their good, for their medical good, and consulting with other providers. But to give their information to another office, you need the patient's written consent, and in most cases, and there's just layers to that I'm now taking a lot more responsibility for their actions and their health, and I can't do that. All I can do is give them the information. Now, if they follow up with that provider, and that provider should be contacting our office, maybe with a signed release, and at that point I can fully engage and give that provider all the data and all the information on what we've been doing with our patients, send them, copies of their 3D scans, all of the above. But I can't cross that line because it just takes a lot of time and it assumes a lot of responsibility. And at the end of the day, the patient's health is their responsibility, and I am a resource for them to help them in their healthcare journey. But I do think it's a great question, and I think that it's a worthwhile endeavor because we do have a lot more responsibility when it comes to our knowledge base. Once we're aware of all these things, then we should be able to connect patients with different experts, and we should take some responsibility in vetting them for our community because we do have a clinical knowledge base that exceeds most patients. And so we do stand in the gap between them and getting the help that they need, which may start or end with us. But if it only starts with us, it might end with someone else. And I think there's virtue in connecting them. And of course, the law of reciprocity and everything else, you're going to get back more than you give. So this is a virtuous and profitable process because you'll get referrals as well. So hopefully that answers some questions and give you some ideas and nuggets. I'm going to be launching, like I said, a resource online called PittsburghProviders.com. I already created a Facebook group called Pittsburgh Patients. And so these are going to be communities specifically for these types of conversations on a provider and a patient level. And I think that it's going to have a massive impact, but that's something I'm going to be working on. I know a lot of people work on provider nights. We do that as well, where we invite providers to come to our clinic once a quarter now. But if nothing else, you just call. You call a clinic and say, hey, I'm Dr. So-and-so. I've got some patients that may need your service. I was curious if I could stop by over lunch sometime, over your lunch break, or before you get started, and get a tour of your clinic, see how you guys do XYZ therapy. So hopefully this provides some value. And if you guys have any questions, hit me up. Otherwise, you can stay connected with me on the hashtag UC vlog. We're gonna, by the way, I do try and categorize these vlogs. So hashtag UC vlog is all the vlogs, but then I'm gonna, like this one for example, I'm gonna hashtag it Bulow Referrals. If you look up the hashtag Bulow CBCT, it'll be all the vlogs I've done on cone beam CT imaging. If you do hashtag Bulow thermography, you'll see videos that we've done on thermography or that I've done on thermography. So we're gonna try and categorize it a bit. But hopefully that brings you value. I can't wait to do these more often. It was a real joy when I did it for a few years straight, just engaging with the profession. And so if you guys have any questions on this or the practice of upper cervical, just reach out, and we'll continue these conversations on a weekly basis. All right, guys, have a great week. Bye now.